In the spring of 1940, Hermann Göring, Nazi Germany's Luftwaffe chief, laughed off a staggering American plan. President Franklin Roosevelt had just announced to Congress that the U.S. would build 50,000 warplanes a year, an idea Göring dismissed as pure propaganda. Sitting in Berlin's Reich Air Ministry, he sneered, "The Americans know nothing about war production. Let them try converting their car factories. Building planes takes more than assembly lines." Göring's contempt was rooted in Nazi ideology, which saw America as a weak, degenerate democracy incapable of matching Germany's war machine. But his mockery would prove to be one of history's greatest miscalculations. Back in 1939, America's military aviation was modest at best. The U.S. produced just 3,611 planes, many outdated, and the Army Air Corps had only 1,700 combat aircraft, most barely fit for modern warfare. Roosevelt's call for 50,000 planes annually, a 14-fold increase, seemed impossible even to allies. Yet, by 1944, American factories didn't just meet that goal, they nearly doubled it, turning out 96,270 aircraft in a single year. This wasn't just a victory of numbers, it was a revolution in production that buried the Third Reich under an avalanche of aluminum and steel. The mastermind behind this miracle was William Knudsen, a Danish immigrant who'd risen to president of General Motors. In 1940, Knudsen left his $300,000 a year job to serve as Roosevelt's production chief for just $1 annually. His mission? Turn America's industrial might into the arsenal of democracy. Knudsen brought automotive mass production techniques to aircraft manufacturing, transforming factories into war machines. By December 1941, U.S. plants were producing 2,000 planes a month, a 20-fold leap from 2 years earlier. Companies like Boeing, Douglas, and North American Aviation expanded rapidly, while Ford built the massive Willow Run plant in Michigan, a 3.5 million square foot factory with a mile-long assembly line. Willow Run became the symbol of American ambition. Ford's production chief, Charles Sorensen, promised one B-24 Liberator bomber per hour, a rate unthinkable to competitors. Early on, the plant struggled. The first bomber, finished in September 1942, needed complete rebuilding, and quality issues plagued the operation. Critics mocked it as, "Will it run?" But Ford's engineers persevered, breaking the B-24's 488,193 parts into subassemblies, developing hydraulic riveting tools, and perfecting moving assembly lines. By April 1944, Willow Run was producing 428 bombers a month, one every 63 minutes, outpacing Germany's entire aviation industry. This industrial triumph wasn't just about machines, it was about people. America's workforce transformed overnight. In 1941, women made up less than 1% of aircraft workers. By 1943, they were 65%, with 310,000 women riveting, inspecting, and assembling planes. Rose Monroe, the real Rosie the Riveter, drove 3,000 rivets per shift at Willow Run with 99.5% accuracy. At Douglas Aircraft's Long Beach plant, women inspectors cut defect rates from 3.2% to 0.3%. Ford redesigned tools for smaller hands, boosting efficiency and reducing injuries. Teenagers, elderly workers, African Americans, Mexican Americans, and Native Americans joined the effort, proving that a diverse voluntary workforce could outshine Nazi Germany's forced labor. Germany's leaders, blinded by prejudice, couldn't fathom this. Göring and Hitler ignored warnings from their own intelligence. General Friedrich von Bodecker, Germany's military attaché in Washington, cabled Berlin in 1940. American war production will reach unimaginable heights. Hitler dismissed him, ranting about America's half-Judaized, half-Negrified society. The Luftwaffe scoffed at reports of women in U.S. factories, calling it desperation. They assumed democratic mobilization couldn't match their totalitarian control. But while Germany relied on 60,000 slave laborers in underground factories, where 20,000 died and sabotage was rampant, America's free workers drove precision and innovation. The battlefield told the story. In December 1942, during the Tunisia campaign, German pilot Major Johannes Steinhoff noted, "American pilots are no longer amateurs, and there are more of them every day." By January 1943, U.S. bombers struck Germany itself, targeting Wilhelmshaven. During Black Thursday in October 1943, America lost 60 B-17s but replaced them in weeks. In February 1944's Big Week, the U.S. launched 3,500 bomber sorties, crippling German aircraft production and killing 100 irreplaceable Luftwaffe pilots. General Adolf Galland warned Göring that Germany was losing 1,200 fighters monthly while producing 1,000. America was building 2,500 fighters while losing just 400. The numbers were staggering. In 1944, America produced 16,048 four-engine bombers, 35,743 fighters, and 22,591 multi-engine aircraft, more than Germany's entire wartime output of 94,677 planes. American bombers carried 13 50-caliber machine guns with thousands of rounds, advanced bomb sights, and navigation systems. German fighters often lacked working radios or sufficient ammo. North American Aviation built 500 P-51 Mustangs monthly, while Lockheed produced a P-38 every 90 minutes. Supporting industries kept pace. General Motors made 57,658 aircraft engines, and Alcoa's aluminum output grew 600%. Germany's last-ditch efforts couldn't compete. Göring's Jager program dispersed production to 729 underground facilities, but the results were disastrous. Slave labor led to defective planes, and transportation delays crippled output. Germany's Me-262 jet, a technological marvel 100 miles faster than Allied fighters, was limited to 1,430 units, with only 200 operational at a time due to engine issues and material shortages. Meanwhile, America developed the P-80 Shooting Star jet while still producing thousands of conventional planes, a flexibility Germany couldn't match. By 1945, the truth hit Nazi leaders hard. Captured in May, Göring faced interrogation at Camp Ashcan in Luxembourg. To Major Kenneth Heckler, he admitted, "I knew America's industrial potential was great, but their execution exceeded my worst fears. That Willow Run factory produced more bombers than our entire Air Force." At Nuremberg, prosecutors showed films of Willow Run's assembly lines while listing German cities destroyed by their planes. Göring's March 1946 testimony revealed his shock. "I never imagined they could increase production 100-fold in 4 years. It seemed impossible." Prison psychologist G.M. Gilbert noted Göring's obsession with Willow Run, calling it "that damned factory that broke our backs." In his final letter before his suicide on October 15, 1946, Göring wrote, "The Americans won through industrial power, not military prowess. We were not defeated by better soldiers, but by better factories." He confessed that America's ability to supply 2 war theaters 5,000 miles apart, while Germany struggled 500 miles from home, was beyond our conception. The final tally? America produced 295,959 aircraft, including 97,810 bombers and 99,465 fighters, against Germany's 94,677 planes. This wasn't just a military victory, it was a triumph of democracy. 2 million Americans, from housewives to teenagers, united to outproduce a regime built on coercion. The $45 billion spent on aircraft, $800 billion in today's dollars, erased unemployment, doubled incomes, and fueled post-war prosperity. Factories built for war became the backbone of America's global dominance, producing everything from suburban homes to moon landing rockets. The women who riveted B-24s raised children who walked on the moon. Hermann Göring's laughter in 1940 was history's most expensive mistake. He underestimated a nation that turned its industrial might into a weapon, proving that free people, united for a righteous cause, could achieve the impossible. America didn't just meet Roosevelt's 50,000 plane goal, it doubled it, reshaping the world. The arsenal of democracy showed that production lines could win wars as decisively as battle lines, and that democracy's strength lay not just in its soldiers, but in its workers. Göring learned too late what happens when you mock a sleeping giant.